Hello, everyone. Welcome back. We're joined by Aditya Rana, who is one of our vulnerability researchers at Mileva, and you do many other things too, Aditya. So why don't I let you introduce yourself? Tell us about you and what you're working on.
Yeah, hello everyone. So my name is Aditya Rana. So introducing about myself. So I'm a cybersecurity guy who's been working in security for like more than 4 years. Like I was working, I have worked as a pen tester. I work as a security engineer, but now I am working as independent researcher, like for participating in bug bounty programs and testing AI applications. And currently, I'm researching on intersection between AI and security and my goal is to find a new potential tech vector which no one had discovered, which sounds a pretty big goal, but I'm working on it. So yeah, that's it about me.
That's amazing. Something that I'm always really impressed by you, Aditya, is that whoever we mention, like if we'll mention that some organization or some person is working on something in the AI red teaming space, you're like, oh yeah, I spoke to them last week about this. You seem to know everyone, which is really amazing because you've done such a good job at being proactive and trying to learn more about AI security, and you will go and get in touch with people who are working on it, which is really cool. So that's why today we thought we'd talk a little bit about bug bounty programs and other red teaming competitions and games, because even though you come from a cybersecurity background, would you say it's fair to say that you've spent a lot of time sort of upskilling yourself and learning about AI security through these resources?
Yeah, in my this company also I like it was around October 2023. So I read a paper by a company on prompt injection attack. So I was pretty fascinated how it is working behind the scenes. So I researched on it, and my manager told me hey, can you give a talk on it? And he was saying after 1 month you have to give a talk on it, maybe a webinar or in a security conference. So around that time a project came where I have to test my skill, pen test AI application. So I the things which I've done through papers, by making the notes, I was able to use that things in the particular project, and I found a lot of vulnerabilities. Not only prompt injection, but also abstract issues like SSRI or SQL injection or IDOR. So, like, which fascinated me to do more research in the AI space. And working on that, I participated on a lot of bounty programs where there are AI applications and vulnerabilities in it, and it's good to see when companies pay for your work. So I was pretty enthusiastic, and now my main goal is to like go more than that current space. Like prompt injection jailbreaking is a area, but we have to do more research so that we can find new attack vectors and work on the defensive solutions also, like how the applications can be secured against these attacks.
Yeah, definitely. I think something about your journey that echoes what a lot of other people are doing or how they got into the AI security space is that a lot of people will learn about prompt injection and contribute a lot in the large language model community. But then there is this real appetite to understand what that means for other kinds of domains like computer vision, or what that actually means in terms of the underlying model architecture. So I think that's really, really cool. So when it comes to a bug bounty program, some of our listeners might have heard of bug bounties before, but they're really common in cybersecurity. And basically a bug is an error or a mistake in code. And the idea is that different companies will put up different challenges or competitions and ask external researchers to find bugs in their software before real attackers do. So they will pay, they'll pay money for researchers to give them information and reports about these bugs. Sometimes they're hosted through entities like HackerOne or BugCrowd. But a lot of big companies also run and manage their own bug bounties. Aditya, why don't you tell us a little about the different bug bounty programs that are out there, maybe their similarities and differences, and like what kind of financial amount people could be looking at?
So, like, firstly, saying about like bounty program. So, in easy way, you can understand like when a company says like you can find hack their application, they pay you like reward. Like it depends from program to program, what is their minimum amount and maximum amount. But from my experience, what I have seen like specifically saying about AI security space. So I have seen multiple programs. Like first one is like Google ERP. So they've categorized a different category like abuse ERP for the AI space. So they have
What does VRP stand for?
vulnerability reward program. So they reward researchers for finding issues in their AI applications. So as many people have seen, like Gemini is now integrated into various like your Gmail, your Docs, Google Drive. So like Google say like if you can find vulnerabilities in their Gemini, like they will pay you. Uh, they have not specified the minimum amount for that, but it depends. Like minimum from, but I've seen like $500 to you can go around like 5 digits or 4 digit bounties. Like 4 digit bounties I've seen, uh, not on AI space, but I've seen for people like they're $10,000 also. Like I've seen like there are reports where people were able to get like 20,000, $25,000 for a single bug, which is a lot. Like so,
It's a
and
lot. Those really high amounts of money are usually based on how severe the bug could be. So if it could cause some kind of really critical impact, then they might be worth like 5 figures US dollars, which is really significant.
yep. So like what I liked about these programs like Google VRP specifically, so like their team is very amazing. If you don't, if you are like in a doubt amount like if this particular thing is in scope or not, you can ask their team and they will explain you in a critical way, in a good way.
Mm-hmm.
So and other programs are like Microsoft has a Microsoft Copilot bounty program where like minimum reward is from what I feel like $250 to 30,000 USD.
Mm-hmm.
So, and other one is like this was specifically saying about like AI safety issues. There are two programs. One is OTEN, like which is hosted by Mozilla. Like, like I've seen like who are able to jailbreak models and like find prompt injection also. Like they about researchers. Like I think like top researchers which are they are not from abstract background. They are only the different backgrounds like and they are in the top 5 leaderboard. Like they are able to jailbreak models and they are getting like good amounts of money. And
Mm.
second one is like Anthropic. Anthropic is a private one, like, but according to their website, if you are able to universally jailbreak the model, they pay you $15,000 for it, like, which is a
Mm.
lot. So
Not bad. Do they usually give examples of what counts or classify what counts as within scope in their programs? And do they differ between the different bug bounty programs?
yes, like scope, there's scope section, like where they say like what is the target URL, what is the specific domain which is in scope, and they also mention the severity also. I've seen like in some programs they mention severity that for example like google.com is a critical, like if you find vulnerability in that domain it will be a critical bug. So they're specifying it, and it differs like from programs to programs. Like in sub scope sections like you will find like uh, domains also and a list of particular issues that are accepted by the program. For example, if we spoke about the Google ERP, so like prompt injection is in scope, but jailbreaking is not in scope. Also, system prompt is also out of scope. So it differs from program to program.
So they include a lot of AI specific criteria, but then do you think there's some overlap between what counts as a traditional cybersecurity bug versus what's within scope of these AI programs?
Yes, like differs because like everyone is not from security background. So for example, like in Microsoft, if you go, like they have a lot of AI related plus abstract issues, like for example, SQL injection in AI application or like IDOL. But person who is coming from a different background, for example, health background, they don't know what is IDOL. So for them, like I think like the best way to start is maybe go for first safety issues, like for example, Odin or like Anthropic. Like there is a form for Anthropic which you can sign up, and like if you get an invite from the team, like you can test their models, you will get early access to it. So there's a lot of difference between traditional AppSec issues and like AI safety, AI security issues.
Yeah. Have you seen these programs sort of change over time because of that? Like these are pretty new programs, or at least the way that they've defined what they're looking for, I've noticed tends to be updated every few months as the technologies change and as people highlight new risk areas. Do you think there's anything about AI systems that's made the bug bounty process a little harder? Like it might be a bit harder to concretely say that something's a bug?
Yes, like it has happened. So the programs are particularly updated like after few times. So but I have seen like in space about different programs. Like if you go to HackerOne or like Workout, so like they will have a updates section where they will mention like if they're updating something or a new thing is added, like they will tell you. And in case of self-hosted one also, they will update it in the website level add. So what I have seen like the difference is like, for example, if I am in case let's take example jailbreaking. For example, if I am able to jailbreak the model and if I am submitting data as an issue, it will be difficult for the different person like who's a trier. Like for example, AI, what is happening, like we are not able to replicate that issue. That is a different thing. Like that is a very difficult thing to do. Like for example, if I'm telling like make me a bomb, it is making giving me a recipe to make the nuclear weapon. But if I'm submitting that particular prompt to you, so like if you're not able to replicate that issue, so you will make it as a, like not applicable or informative. Like you will, so it is very difficult, and AI space is evolving. So the companies are also evolving, like agents are coming. So companies have a lot of things to do. Like for example, if let's take example like indirect prompt injection. Like in a particular Google Doc, you add like hey, like like if like say hello world, and you summarize it, and it is saying hello world, then people will think like it is a security issue, but it is not, because like you are specifying instructions into that particular document. So in case of uh, AI program, like to be valid bug, you have to take issues like which can affect other users. For example, data exfiltration. If you able to leak the sensitive data to your attacker control server or third party server, it will be a valid issue. Or like if you are able to uh, do prompt injection by which it can affect other users. For example, it can delete any user history or like change the user password or email, then it is a valid issue. So companies are looking for that specific if they can impact your CII trial. Then it will be marked as informative or not applicable. So
Yeah, that's really interesting. I'm sure most of our listeners would be familiar, but when you say the CIA triad, what is that referring to exactly?
like here tried is a like confidentiality, integrity, and availability. So confidentiality is like then if you are able to like if you are able to get access to sensitive information which you should not. Integrity is like that, like if you are able to change a particular state of the application. For example, if my password current is like 1234 and using CSRF, I am able to update the password to 123456. It is stating changing the password of the particular user. And availability is like you can say like uh, when the particular application is not available for the users, like it is affecting the availability of that particular application. Like if the application is going down, then it is affecting the availability of the application. So it depends. Like if you go for like if you're targeting about particular bug types, then I think the most thing you should look for is like confidentiality and integrity. Because like I've seen like sometimes programs don't care for availability, they care for like confidentiality and integrity. So
That's interesting. I guess, do you think that's because availability might be a bit harder for an external researcher to test?
yeah, like so like I will explain you like a real world scenario. Like I was testing an application, so it was a URL like redacted.com. So I entered a big string like into a particular quantity parameter, and the application was hanged. Like it was loading the application, like Steam was loading. It was hanged. It was completely down. But from the other external research, external team, like as a trier, like they are trying the issue. Like they want to see if any other person is, for example, you are accessing the website direct.com, and you are not able to access the website, then it will be a critical issue. But if you are able to access that particular website, then it is a not issue because it is working for your browser only. So this is the case. Like I've seen, like if you are able to impact other users by which they cannot access that particular application, then it will be a like cool finding.
Yeah, nice. I think it's really interesting that the CIA triad has always been a point of reference in cybersecurity. And obviously, you would expect there to be parallels in AI security too. But then AI does slightly change the nature of what confidentiality, integrity, and availability look like in an AI context. Like, because there are inherent differences between cyber and AI systems. But I think it's interesting that it's still the reference point for the security community. If any of our listeners are interested in contributing to a bug bounty program, how do you recommend they get started?
It depends on their background. Like, for example, if you are from tech background, like software engineer, like security background, then I think like you can go for like big companies like Meta or like Google, Microsoft. Also, like you can go for OpenAI program, but they don't accept model issues, but they accept abstract issues. And but if you're not from different background, like you can go for AI safety one, like Odin or Anthropic one, which is cool. And because like I particularly think like if you are from cyber background, it helps a lot sometimes because you can easily change things. You can like connect the dots and like you can change it and you can find a cool bug and get a good bounty. But if you're also not from pool one, there are lot of pool competitions going on, and also like big companies are sponsoring them, and like you can bring a lot of amount of money. I've seen like people who are not from security background, but they have like thousands of dollars, like from the different programs and competitions.
That'd be nice. Wouldn't that be nice? The thing I always see as referenced as a really good analogy in the AI security space. I've seen this from a lot of people, but I was listening to a podcast with Daniel Miessler, and I think it's this other podcast called like the AI cybersecurity podcast. And I was like, that name was a little close, but that's okay. We're all working on important things. But they were saying that application security to them is one of the most important areas of AI security, because when, like for us, and when I say us, I mean, I guess myself coming from a data science and machine learning background, I often look at machine learning security as securing the model itself from attacks that might disrupt how it makes classifications or predictions or leaks information. But then if you're looking at the AI system, that's the machine learning model and then many, many other things. And a lot of the time, the actual security issues are in the other things, or at least how they all work together, which is very much an application security problem. Would you say that seems to be true based on what these bug bounty programs are considering within scope?
Yes, like because like as your background is from machine learning, like machine learning is not easy to learn. Like not everything is done because it has a like lot of prerequisites like maths is required, programming skills, and a lot of other things. But and as like after coming of release of chat GPT, like LLMs has become a like and chatbots have become a like number one thing in the world. Like every company is racing towards it to integrate into their system. So AI was also earlier, like machine learning was earlier, like it was used in the real world, but we were not able to see that because like we don't have that particular knowledge, and like we were not that popular also, like because like if you want to test AI applications, like for example, facial recognition system, like not everyone do that. Like it requires a particular high level of skill set. Like, but after release of LLMs and chatbots coming, like companies are integrating it, they are racing towards it. So they are when you are racing, there is a race going on. So there will be a lot of issues. So And when they are like integrated into their bug bounty programs, like you will see like they add a particular range of attacks, which is mostly for the will be for LLMs only. They will not focus on machine learning or model inside the model attacks. They are also focused on LLM attacks. So it's there. Like, but I've seen like only companies are currently racing towards LLMs. So this is the number one thing in the world. And when you are racing toward, like, you will find a good like range of issues, because like everything you must have seen, like Google has released something, Anthropic has released next day, and OpenAI released something. So every day they are integrating. Like pressure is on developers or like their production teams. Like they have to release a new version like after a particular set of time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, the race will be they will be left behind. So it is good opportunity for us like as researchers or like as AI people. Like we can act their system, we can like find issues, we can earn a good amount of money, we can go for a vacation after that, and so it is good. But like as I have seen particularly, like if you want to like focus more on the safety part, like security, you have to understand how these models work on the inside space, because like not everyone knows. I saw an article where uh, I think OpenAI was saying like with the release of every model, hallucination is becoming a big problem. They're not
Mm.
able to understand what is happening inside the model. So, which is a very pretty concerning also. Like,
Yeah, that's really interesting. I think the point about even AI safety people should understand cybersecurity. I mean, obviously, we all have our own niches, but thinking specifically from this perspective, yeah, it would be great to see more collaboration between the fields. And something else you mentioned before was all of the different competitions and challenges that help people upskill in this area as well. Like now, I think is a great time to get involved because we're at the beginning. Technology is evolving so quickly. We can upskill ourselves really quickly and start contributing to the field. What are some competitions or challenges that you recommend people have a look at?
there are a lot of challenges. I've seen like first one is like everyone knows like which is on uh, Gandalf. Like it is the most popular one. Like to get started if you're starting.
Yeah, just to lay it out for some of our listeners who may not have heard about it, because sometimes I do meet people who haven't heard of Gandalf. Do you want to explain exactly what Gandalf is?
So Gandalf is the particular like challenge, like where you have to find a particular secret, like you have to find the password. With each levels, like the difficulty increases, and it is pretty fun. Like you will try to like different thing like base 64 encoding or like different type of attack, and it will be pretty interesting. Like it's pretty interesting. Like when you are able to leak the sensitive password, you will say like, "Hey, I have hacked the AI system. I'm a hacker." So
Mm-hmm.
it is pretty interesting. And the more the level goes, the more interesting you have to find thing out of the box. Like you have to find a bypass. You think
Mm-hmm.
of a real world exam where like if you don't score, you will fail. So it is like that. And other competitions, I think Grace One Arena, it is pretty good. Like they are focusing on AI safety issues, also agentic red tape, and big organizations like AI Security Institute is sponsoring them. So like I think like the prize amount which I saw was like around like more than $1 lakh, like which is pretty big, and like so it is pretty good. And the one I have seen like when it is coming, I think it is starting from today, like which is Hackathon 2.0, and I
Mm-hmm.
think their pool price is around like $250,000, which is a lot. So even
That's
if you are yeah, like if, even if you're not from security background, like there are safety issues are there, like there are specific tracks you can focus for, like age anti-red teaming, or like for example, safety issue like nuclear weapons, mattresses. So you can earn a lot of money also. As
are
a
these based like it's a challenge that runs for a specific amount of time?
yeah, I think yes, it will be time based. Like they will say like from that particular day it will start, or like this particular date it will end. And so, like, for example, let's take 1 month. So for 1 month it will run, and you have a lot of ample time to test different things. And I think the best thing will be to do that is like you can make a list of attacks to try, like make a like Google sheet or something like that, and enter a list of attacks you can try, and see the response what it is giving, and based on that you can make your like new attacks, a new base of attacks. Maybe you have found a cool attack and which you can test on like bug bounty programs, and you can earn a good dollars, like thousands of dollars. So
Yeah. That's really good. We're going to include links in the description for this episode too. I've actually never really played many red teaming games myself, which is a bit sad. I've done Gandalf, but a lot of these have come out like after I was learning about this, and now unfortunately I just don't have a lot of time. But are there any that you specifically recommend for a beginner?
like the first thing I recommend is like learn and practice. Like for example, if you're reading research papers or like reading a particular blog, what I particularly do is like when I read that blog, I take a note of it, like what it is particularly saying, because as we are humans, like we don't recognize everything. So I read that particular article, and after reading an article multiple times, I say that what is the most important thing to take from that article, like a particular attack or like particular technique. I take note of it, and then what I do, like I go to like bug bounty programs or like the AI games, and I practice on that.
Mm-hmm.
Practice on that. So is first is like learn and practice, because like when we learn and learn and like we are not able to practice that thing. So I think learn and practice is a thing. Like first you can do like maybe like you can do 80% learning, 20% learning, 20% practice, and then you can increase it like 50% learning, 50%, and then based on your like time and like your based on your time management, like you can increase that particular thing. I do that particular thing, and I think the best way is to like test real world applications. I think like because if we are in a particular, but I think like if you go in a like CTF or like different competitions, we know like they are made to be vulnerable. They are made to be reveal secrets or like. But if you go in a real world program or real world application, you will get to know what is the level of security or like what is the level of objective you need to achieve. So it will help you learning a lot. Like I've learned a lot. I've failed a lot of times. Like many times the application is not giving results. You're like I'm stressed. Like what to do now? What to do now? So like when
Yeah.
you are stressed, you may find of some cool attack or maybe cool idea. Like at around I was sleeping around at 3 a.m. I recognized a technique. Oh man, like I should try this. I should try this, and I switched on my computer and like I tried that and I got the result. So like, you can find like you should learn and practice is the most like important thing to do, like now in
Yeah.
any space, like not just AI security, like it's in any space.
That's really good advice. I think the great thing about the AI security community today is that there are a lot more resources to learn as well. A few years ago, before there were many challenges or games, a lot of the research was coming out in academic papers, which did have interesting techniques, but then like you're not exactly going to replicate the code in an academic paper. It's infamously really bad and quite buggy. What kinds of resources, if people have these challenges, what kinds of resources do you recommend for people to learn about those attacks in the first place?
I think uh, there is not particular resource, like there are a lot of things. I think the first one is like I think recommend embrace the red block. like
Mm-hmm.
like if you don't know embrace the red, he's like Jonan, so he's a researcher, like I think who is the number one hacker I have seen, like finding AI security issues and like abstract issues also. Like he has a good list of lot of blogs where you can go and see, like he has like hacked Twitter AI, he has hacked Microsoft, he's like OpenAI also, and like so, and his all research is public. So like what I like, there's like all research is public. You can like read the blog and like you can also talk to him and like. And the second one is like I think like uh I think what learn prompting, like they have a good prompt hacking guide, and
Mm-hmm.
so like Lakera AI, they also have a prompt hacking guide, like which is pretty detailed. Like
Mm-hmm.
you can, they have a full ebook like which you can go and it is free, so you can learn from that and like try different attacks on their game Gandalf. So which is pretty, and I think you can watch podcasts like what I've seen, like there are some cool podcasts also. First
Mm-hmm.
of first one that I've seen like is like Harriet podcast only, like which is focused on like machine learning adversarial attacks, because like
Mhm.
if you want to go into deep into AI security, like if you want to make this as a field, I think machine learning is the must go thing you should learn, because AI is not only for LLMs, like it
Mhm.
is more than that.
Yep.
LLM is just 1% of a tip iceberg. Like 99% is machine learning and computer vision, which is my goal, like to learn about more into machine learning and like go specific into it. But
Mhm.
machine learning attacks are like are not paid by the program. So if you are want to earn money, then LLMs is good. But if you want to go for your curiousness and learning, then machine learning is the best part. Like, and what I feel like one usually I've seen is like critical bug bounty podcast. Like they cover abstract issues, but they are pretty good of AI security episodes. I know one
Mhm.
person, Res, who is working researching on AI security. So he's a hacker, he's a bounty hunter. So he has made a good episodes on that. And like yeah, like that's the only resource I can think of right now. Like yeah,
Yeah, that's really good. We'll include links to all of these because there are some like more formal certifications and courses as well. Like I know that Hack the Box and it's another one. Hack the Box and SANS run AI security and AI red teaming courses. SANS is very expensive. And the good thing about the security community is that there is so much free guidance. Another challenge that comes to mind as well is Crucible by Dreadnode. And
yeah,
that does focus on more traditional machine learning attacks too, and is the platform that they use in the AI red team village in DEF CON, but you can sign up anytime and work through those challenges. So that's a good one too. There is so much money in the space at the moment in language models, more so than anywhere else. But I think we're going to see a lot more investment soon in AI security generally, which is really cool.
I think like as your motto is only AI security, like you have this thing from starting like AI security. So I think companies are going to get serious in the future. Like
Mhm. I
agents
think,
are agents are agents are already released. So after agents, I think like they will focus on model attacks also. Like, but it is still it will take a lot of time also, because like if you are going for models, then you have to learn a lot of things. I've seen like it is not easy. Just like there are a lot of things to be learned besides only attacks. You have to focus on the maths part, or like you need to understand. And earlier you were saying about papers. So what I think like academic papers are like very much like when I read about transformers architecture research paper first time. I don't have any machine learning background. Like I was, it came as a bouncer. Like I was not able to understand anything. I was like, what is that paper? What is talking about? But as I learned about machine learning, I came to know like it is how it is working behind the scenes. So
yeah, yeah, that's really good. I think the other interesting thing about the bug bounty market is like with cybersecurity 0 days, that is a massive market. And I feel like it'll be interesting if that 0 day market catches up in the AI space. So for listeners who aren't familiar, a 0 day is basically a bug that hasn't been detected or disclosed, or at least only a few people know about it, and so they're actively using it to compromise systems before there's a patch available or before it's disclosed to the public. And so it means that they're, especially if it's a critical 0 day, then they can inflict a lot of damage without any awareness. And in the AI space, I think that'd be a bit different because I think it'd be harder to find a critical 0 day that no one else is finding. It'd be more likely to be a traditional cybersecurity bug in an AI application. But I think that'd be a really interesting area to look at. Is there anything that you're particularly excited about in the space, or that you're looking forward to, or you think is really interesting? Like you mentioned agentic AI. Any sort of closing thoughts on bug bounties and these challenges?
I think for one thing, I'm interested to see like what more things can be added in the future. Like as
Mm-hmm.
companies are racing integrating AI, what type of more new attacks it will come. Because like the best thing about bug bounties is you can, there are a lot of applications, you can test a lot of things. But if it came to AI security space, there will be a limited chatbot. So now you have to think of particularly maybe a new technique or new way. I'm interested in finding a new way, a new technique, except prompt injection jailbreaking, which can maybe like, I know a magical way of hacking AI by a single click or maybe a zero click. But I think it depends on the application. So I'm interested more on finding new attack vectors and also the ways to secure the application, because it is very difficult for the teams to patch it.
Yeah, thank you. I think it's going to be really interesting to see the space evolve. And you've contributed to these programs yourself. You found a bug in the Juvie AI application. It was an OTP bypass. How did you find that process?
Like I was also pretty when I was testing the application, I was also pretty shocked, because like I simply entered the OTP like I was in my mobile phone. I was like enter like 111, because like in security background we have to like check that particular thing, that null OTP and one. So and it was logged in. I was like, I was kind of shocked. Like, is it real? I tried 2 to 3 times and it was working. So then I made multiple accounts and then I saw like, can I enter it? And then I was able to enter it. But that application I think was in the particularly starting phase. So the most interesting part was that like in the like Andrew Ng was has invested into that company. Like and anyone who knows Andrew Ng, like he's a like godfather of machine learning. Like his courses are very good. So I was pretty interested and then I reported to the company. And company was pretty like concerned about it. Like they were also shocked like how it is possible. And it was working on multiple platforms like Android and iOS both. And also one, like if your bug is working on multiple platforms, like Android, iOS, or Windows, or Mac OS, then you will get a multiple like high bounty, like a reward will be paid by the company. So if it is working on Android, try to testing like if it is working on iOS or like different platforms. Then it will be, you will get a like cool bounty and like can enjoy your life.
Yeah, you won't need to work with us anymore. You can just go relax on a beach somewhere.
Like you can get retired and like that have a like chill week.
Absolutely. The dream is to work on Mileva from a beach somewhere. Thank you so much for joining us, Aditya. It's been really useful. It'd be great to chat to you again later on as well as we start to find more vulnerabilities.
Yeah, thank you, Aditya.
Thanks. Bye.